Welcome to Time for Hope, a faith-based mental health program. Join our host, certified clinical mental health counselor and Christian psychotherapist Dr. Freda Cruz, and her guests as they discuss real-life issues and offer expert clinical advice and solid biblical application for any and all life situations. Now, here's the host of Time for Hope, Dr. Freda Cruz.
We are always delighted to have you join us for another edition of Time for Hope. I'm Dr. Freda Cruz, your host, and for the second week, my guest is author, pastor, and international speaker, Dawn Scott Jones. And we're going to be continuing our discussion of her recent book titled, When a Woman You Love Was Abused, subtitled, A Husband's Guide to Helping Her Overcome Childhood Sexual Molestation. For over 20 years, God has used Dawn and her own personal story of sexual molestation to ignite hope and healing in the lives of thousands of people and to help husbands understand the emotions and fears that are holding their wives captive. Stay with us as Dawn and I discuss how husbands can help their wives recover from and thrive despite her past abuse, offering hope for a healthy marriage. And Dawn, thank you for your patience in waiting for us to start the second week. Your book is just so full of so much, and some persons will be hearing some of this for the first time. For reasons, for various reasons. Sure. So it's good information to be putting out, and especially when it's your own personal story. But we want to spend most of this week on how husbands, the subtitle of your book, how husbands can help abused wives survive and thrive. But we have a few things to end out before we get there. The first question I want to ask, I didn't see addressed. Maybe I just missed it. And that was the 1 in 3 girls, that continues to be a stat, by the way, that are abused sexually by someone whom they trust and should be protecting them, and so forth. Does it sometimes cause them to be sexually loose?
Sure, absolutely. There's many responses to the sexual abuse that someone encounters. We talked in the segment before this that there's so much shame involved that you feel like you've been damaged or disqualified from the best things of life. And so you just settle. Many of us have gone shopping and we look on that sale rack or that clearance rack, and then there's that part that says as is because it's damaged and they're just basically giving it away. Girls who feel like they're an as is will just give themselves away. They don't feel like they're...
after all, why hold on? There's nothing to hold on to.
What's to protect? Is there? What's to cherish? Yes. What's to treasure? And so it almost becomes just their way of coping. Instead of saying, I was hurt, they almost bulk up and say, this is who I am, I can do this. And they pride themselves in becoming very sexually active. And that's one of the responses.
Let's just get right out in the open. I saw this in your book, and I know it's true from patients also. That the girls, as they grow older, if it goes on for a period of time, they have to admit that it can be a feel-good experience. Sure. And that even creates more guilt, that they feel that way, and that they can, as it were, enjoy what's going on and hate it at the same time.
They can, and that's so very true. And like you said, we'll just put it out there in the open, but an abuser knows how to manipulate a physical body. And our bodies, it's biological. God created our bodies to respond. And so when a body responds because it's being manipulated, girls often will feel, men too, if they're being abused, but they'll feel like their body betrayed them. That you know what, I feel even more guilt and more shame and more self-hatred and loathing because it did feel good. My body did enjoy it. And so now I hate myself because I crave it and I hate it at the same time. And there's just such a dissonance for someone. You can see why girls use food or alcohol or addiction or sex or any kind of these things to just ease the pain and the conflict that they go through. And it is a very real thing, yes.
It's even hearing you talk about it, I can just feel the empathize with them and you know, all that's going on inside of them.
Layers and layers.
Layers and layers and layers of pain and hurt. And you sit there and it's very clear, I mean, very easy to see God has done a wonderful work of recovery and restoration. Transformation is the word in your life. And you give your second husband a lot of credit for that, don't you?
I do. You said you wanted to talk about marriage. Can we talk about that just for a moment? The first marriage, when I was 19 years old, I got married, and that was my way of getting out of the abuse because it lasted for years. And people don't understand. They say, well, why didn't you just leave? You know, why didn't you tell someone? As we talked about before, you don't talk, you don't tell, you don't share, you don't speak of it. You ignore it and pretend it never happened. So getting married, that was my way of just getting out of it. But it is not over when it's over. I drug all that anger and all that pain into my marriage. And I told my first husband, who now
and
is...
transference
also.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, I was abused. And I told him...
You told him ahead of time?
I did.
I meant to ask that question. I'm glad you're answering it.
And you know, I told him about as blasé-faire as I was like, yeah, my dad abused me, and you know, and I like pepperoni on my pizza. Kind of just, it was just ridiculous the way I shared it. But to the level that I shared it was the level that he responded. He said, oh, that's weird. And we never talked about it again. And so now I'm in my marriage. I did my deed. I told my husband. And now all of a sudden he's triggering left and right, not knowing, but he's doing things that reminded me of my father. And I transferred all that anger, all that hatred, all that venom and all that rage right to my poor husband, and he didn't have a clue what was going on. And marriages don't. They don't realize how it is going to impact them. And instead of my husband becoming an ally and a trusted person that I could open up to, he became an enemy. And we were not able to create a healing environment for me, for him, where we could freely open and talk about it. And that's why I wrote the book, because the husband has so much power and ability to be an ally and healing agent, that he has the opportunity to teach his wife what real love is and to share and show gentleness and love and treasuring her. And that's what we talk about in the book.
Yes, and you bring out that an abused woman wants to be in control. And men don't take to that very well.
They don't take to that very well. Well, some men will let themselves get beat down. They will.
Yeah.
But yeah, power struggles, wars and rumors of wars. I said I had a biblical marriage. We had war and rumor of war in my first marriage.
But you didn't seek counsel. You didn't do anything to help yourselves, as it were, did you?
No, we were just ignorant. We just thought it would go away, just sweep it under the rug. And my husband, in my first marriage, he's like many men. They just want to fix it, just get her done. You know, my husband was, if duct tape and a hammer could fix it, you know, and he was almost like that in my recovery. Just get over it. Just snap out of it. It's over. It's done. Just be done with it.
And he was giving you good advice, really. You had to learn a way to get over it, and he didn't understand that it wasn't that easy.
Right.
It was good advice, but it wasn't that easy to do, was it?
Yeah, there was no how-tos. And the thing that I needed him to say is, we can do this together. But it was it's your problem, you get over it, you snap out of it. And so I discovered that in my marriage that I'm in now, the partnership, the prayer covering, the patience, the grace, the understanding is such a freeing, healing agent that if marriages could get a hold of that early on, they can have a very healthy, whole, wonderful marriage, sexually beautiful, wonderful trust, but it will take intentionality. It takes work.
Yeah. Well, there are marriages where the woman has not been abused that have to go through the same process to have a good marriage. Yeah. A good marriage has to be worked on.
That's right.
It has to be worked. It doesn't just happen and has to be worked for. Well, let me go ahead and ask you what had happened between the two marriages that helped you. I guess you took a different approach with your second husband, or something had to happen for that kind of change to take place?
Absolutely. Well, I should say that I was 28 years in my first marriage, and we did have victory in areas. We did get the breakthrough, and God did heal me, and I went on to live a very whole, healed life personally. But my husband experienced his own pain and his own failure. He had a business failure, and so the marriage was hurting with other issues. But a lot of it was just the first 10 years, the anger that had built up and the brokenness and the mistrust. It never really got resolved, and so it culminated in the breaking of the marriage, where my husband, he just abandoned us. He just left, and I didn't see him for 2 years. So I would have stuck it out, but it's hard to be in a marriage by yourself.
Children either?
No. How
many children do you have?
Three children and 6 grandchildren at the time. But in my second marriage, it's based on Christ as the foundation. We don't have a lot of painful history together.
Yeah, did you share this before you married?
Yes, I did. I made sure that I did it better this time, too. I didn't make it seem very nonchalant. I told him very, very deeply this was part of my life, but that I was sure that I was healed, but I didn't know, because healing is experienced in the context of relationship. So I think I'm healed. I pray that I'm healed, but I said, you know, we'll discover that as if we enter into marriage.
That's a tremendous statement you just made, and it is so psychologically and emotionally true that healing takes place in relationships. God made us for relationship, whether it's marriage or other relationships. That's what the church is all about.
That's what it's all about.
You know, relationships and people being together, sharing together.
Right.
We are to share each other's burdens. We're to cry when others cry, or weep when others weep. We're to mourn. And, you know, we're missing a lot of that, aren't we?
Yes, the
Not
one another's.
only in marriage, but in neighbors, being neighbors, and even in our churches. We're independent, we go our ways.
We're on our phones and texting, and we have virtual friendships and communities.
Yes,
We've lost something.
That's kind of sad, isn't it?
It is.
But
it is sad.
It's kind of, it fits into what we're talking about.
Well, and I'm happy to report that in my marriage today, we have very strong intimacy. We're very whole and healed, and it's wonderful. But the thing about it is I trust my husband. And as history would reveal to me, that my first husband struggled and he was not trustworthy. And so trust is a big issue for survivors, for anyone. But the trust and the intimacy outside of the sexual piece, we never had that. And now I do, and I can see that intimacy and trust is the secret to a very thriving, flourishing marriage.
And we're offering the praise and the honor and the glory to God Himself, aren't we? Yes. And it is time for a break, and we'll be right back. To be sexually abused as a young child is to be betrayed and robbed of one's innocence. To be betrayed by a parent, grandparent, brother, uncle, or friend of the family is what I call the great betrayal. This is true because the very people who are expected to protect a child are the ones who do the abusing. I view sexual abuse, no matter who does it, as the epitome of evil. Yet, as ugly and evil as it is, it proves to be the experience of many young children. Surely, we can understand when they wonder if there is a God. Where is He? The reality is we live in a world where wicked people have free wills. Yet, it is difficult to comprehend a powerful and loving God allowing the pain and suffering sexually abused children endure. The only way we can make sense out of it all is to believe that God has made note of every tear they have shed, and that He can ultimately bring glory to Himself and work it for good in their lives if they will take their pain and questions to Him. Pain can be redemptive. If you have been the victim of sexual abuse, there is hope of recovery and healing. God is able to heal your damaged emotions and give you a sense of personhood that He intended you to have from the beginning. But you have a decision to make. You can continue to carry and wallow in the pain of the past, along with the bitterness and self-pity, or you can release the past, allowing it to grow you into a strong, self-accepting, and peaceful person. Jesus, the Great Samaritan, is willing and ready to bandage up your wounds and pour on the oil and wine to bring the healing that you have longed for. Why don't you decide to take the path of least resistance? Let your pain and bitterness go by giving it to Him. I quote His invitation to you, "Come to me, and I will give you rest." As always, I want to say how much we appreciate you joining us on Time for Hope. And my guest for today is Dawn Scott Jones, and we're concluding our discussion related to her book titled "When a Woman You Love Was Abused." And now we're focusing on the husbands involved in these marriages and how they can help their abused wives. And we've already said quite a bit, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
But let's say they haven't divorced. They haven't had two husbands as you have had. And they're with their first husband, and there's trouble in the marriage. We want to help those men also, and we want to help her, help him.
Yes.
You know, just as he can help her, the wife can help him help her.
Right.
She can reach out. I know you've got in your book over and over, she needs you, she needs you, she needs you. And, you know, sometimes a partner in the marriage can feel that they're too needed, that too much is put on them. So we would have to be careful about that. But also, we need to know that we need each other in a marriage.
Yes.
And this could go two ways. Right. So we suppose then that there are problems. I'm suggesting seeing a therapist.
Yes.
Don't
go it alone.
Don't
this is bigger
go
than
it
you.
alone.
Yes.
Get to a good Christian, qualified Christian
who
therapist.
Specializes in
who specializes in this.
And understands the nuances, because it is unique. And some of the things that you're going to be dealing with in an abusive situation. And we haven't talked about the fact that sometimes the husband himself has been abused, and they're both in this relationship. And
I
so
had thought about that too.
It complicates it even more. But so yes, you're right. Get to a therapist who understands this and can help you unravel it. Have you ever seen a telephone cord or a ball of yarn and you don't know where to start? It's all in knots. Well, someone will help you begin to detangle the mess. And so instead of yelling at each other and taking it out on each other, you can go to the root of the problem and really start to make some progress. By the time we were ready for counseling, we had just shredded each other, and so we weren't drawing strength from each other at all.
Over a line that you didn't feel like you could return or couldn't find a place of return. This all brings back to my memory a continuing ed class that I attended, and the presenter was presenting and talking about young boys when they come into puberty and how sometimes they turn to each other, and of course eventually this can produce the gay lifestyle. But he told also that many boys are abused by their fathers, and that's where the homosexuality or the gay lifestyle can begin. Now, I've had them in counseling and know this to be true, that they boys can be abused by their fathers.
Absolutely.
Just like girls, as we've talked about, can be abused by their mothers.
Right.
And this can cause transgender confusion.
Absolutely.
And
there's so much sexual confusion that's involved in this because you hate it, you love it, you enjoyed it, you despise it, and a lot of times it's very cloaked in let me help you, show you how to be a man. We don't always think of sexual abuse in some of the ways that it happens, but it's any time that you've been exposed or you've become vulnerable and feel ashamed, that becomes an abusive experience to you. And it shapes and changes the way you feel. And so if a man did that and you enjoyed it, you might be led to believe that, well, I'm a homosexual or I have those desires. It's just confusion. It's Satan at his finest, just getting in there and creating havoc for God's people.
It's pure evil,
it's
isn't
evil.
it?
Yes.
And if there's anything that Satan can use for pure evil, it is sex. It's very.
It's a powerful thing.
It's a powerful thing. I think they have actually said that it has actually been said it's the most powerful emotion that we have.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And
no wonder the enemy would go after that then, because if he can get you in this area, it is a lifetime struggle. Maybe one moment for an abuser, but the lifetime for the abused.
Yeah, yes.
But there's hope.
Yes, there is hope. So let's look at more. The safest people that you can, in one's life, an abused woman's life, should be her husband, finding a support group of other women that have gone through the same thing. And then I've got it again, a trusted husband that you've brought out so many times, and qualified Christian counselors. So we would advise husbands to take that advice and invite their wife to go with them to counseling.
Yeah, and I would recommend, if there's anyone listening today and the wife hasn't told her husband, he might be shadow boxing and not even know what the issue is. If you can open up and begin to tell your story, healing comes from opening up the mess, opening up the door, letting it out. It doesn't come from barricading it and shoving it. So if they'll just open that up and begin to become allies and talk and draw strength from each other, become vulnerable, they will discover God's healing power really can flow.
But you know, husbands do like to know that they can fix things and that, you know, that they're needed. So she should come out very openly with her need of his support and understanding. And one of the ways that he can learn to do that is learn to listen.
Yeah.
There is no better,
Thank you.
No better way to help a wife than learn to listen.
Don't fix it.
Just not fix it. Listen. And that's true of other situations also. So we're going to advise these husbands when the wife begins to open up, don't rush in with words, nor judgment, but listen. And that's true in a marriage period, anyway.
And then affirm her after she told you.
Affirm her and admit if he didn't know, he didn't know, but that he's willing to take the journey, join the journey with her, so to speak. And God's going to be there. So it's three in the journey. It's the husband, the wife, and God. Yes. And with that, they can come to where you are today.
Nothing's impossible.
Smiling and enjoying freedom and having a good marriage, as we said in the opening. Dawn, thank you so much for coming and appearing on Time for Hope. And I do encourage you to get a copy of Dawn's book. We, as I say very often on Time for Hope, we've just touched the tip of the iceberg. And then I have a couple of things to share with you from our viewers. Dear Dr. Freda, please pray for my friend who was a victim of childhood sexual abuse. She did not tell anyone until recently. Pray that she will find healing and the right counselor to help her deal with the memories. And then I have a note of encouragement. Dear Dr. Freda, I serve as a hospital chaplain in a mission hospital in India. I watch your program, Time for Hope, every week, which we greatly appreciate. I enjoy the insightful discussions you have with your guests. I am deeply blessed by the Time for Hope program. God bless you, and thank you so much for that. If you haven't shared your prayer requests with us, we encourage you to do that. We take each and every one to our Heavenly Father, who can help and who can intervene in your life situations. And also I would ask that you consider helping us, if you haven't and aren't doing so, financially to carry on this program to places such as India that we just received the note from. And I look forward to you joining us again next week on Time for Hope.
A free fact sheet that contains additional information about today's topic is available upon request from our ministry. You can also receive a copy of today's resource for a contribution of any amount to the Time for Hope ministry. Call us at 800-669-9133. Write us at Post Office Box 2169, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304. Or visit our website at timeforhope.org. When you call or write, prayerfully consider a donation to our ministry. Our ministry's mission is to offer hope to discouraged and hurting people. As we continue to give out messages of hope, a financial gift of any amount to support this ministry will be greatly appreciated. When you do this, you are joining us in offering hope to many viewers seeking help and hope for their situation. This will also enable us to inform and inspire some viewers to expand our mission, as they learn and in turn can minister more effectively to hurting people around them. Until next time, have a great week. And remember, it is time for hope.